Okay, perfect. So welcome everyone to our weekly webinar today, June 12th. I want to say hi to everyone that is joining us here through Zoom and everyone that is joining us through Facebook Live. I want to thank everyone that is in here, and also I want to remind you to just have a piece of paper or notebook wherever you take notes. Make sure to be ready. We have with us Angela Rodriguez, who has prepared this amazing presentation, and we're going to continue talking about products, tips, and we're also going to continue with our Canva Bootcamp with our second part. So welcome, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you everyone for joining us. And remember that at the end, we're going to be doing that Canva boot camp, and it can be helpful to have our webinar on one device and Canva up on another so that you can follow as I'm going along. And it's better for our memory if you do, as we go through each of these steps, if you do it on your own account. So if you haven't done that yet, while I'm going through our agenda and things like that, just get your Canva account pulled up. Hopefully you did last week's homework and created an account and kind of started playing around with it a little bit. And we'll do an example today of how to make some stories for Instagram and Facebook, which I think will be fun. So our spotlight for today is the Better Movement set. That's going to help a lot with joint pain and other chronic pains that our customers might be dealing with. We're also going to talk a little bit more about chronic pain management and how to approach that with our youth business. We're going to briefly just show you where some recorded trainings are available in English in our consultant app. And for our tech tips, we'll do our Canva Bootcamp Part 2, which is talking about stories. So we'll finish up with some other time-sensitive reminders, and we should be good to go. So our spotlight today is this Better Movement set. Go ahead and let us know in the chat, whether you're here in Zoom or on Facebook, if you already use any of the products or maybe this entire set in your daily routine. Included in this set is the Arnica Creamy Gel. It has devil's claw and frankincense, and it's a really great natural way to provide comfort to achy joints and other places where we just get like that daily discomfort, aches and pains. We also have the Sanactive Cream, which is really a good anti-inflammatory product for like rheumatic pain, joint pain, and more problems with inflammation. I have a friend who is also a nurse, and she's younger than I am, and she gets a lot of joint pain because she's on her feet all day in the nursing profession. And she uses the Sanactive Cream on her ankles and knees and hip area where her joints get really achy from her job. And also in this set, we have the 31 herbal oil, which we all know is like a total lifesaver for many different things. But that in combination with these products also just helps, gives it that extra boost for releasing the tension that our body creates that can cause a lot of different aches and pains. So this is a really great set for anyone who's struggling with chronic pains, those daily aches and pains, and especially joint pain. So thinking about some of the ingredients that are found in those sets, the products in that set, just to kind of have a basic overall knowledge of what they do. Remember that Arnica is great for pain relief, reducing bruising, and it has anti-inflammatory properties that help with a lot of different things in our body care. Devil's Claw extract also is a great anti-inflammatory ingredient, and frankincense, again, anti-inflammatory. So when you're talking about Arnica Creamy Gel that has these three products, anti-inflammatory, 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 they work really well to reduce that reaction that our body has. Frankincense also is antiseptic, skin toning, invigorating. When you put Arnica Creamy Gel on, it feels really good on your skin, right? It automatically, your skin starts to feel more refreshed. And then as it absorbs, it starts working some more magic inside in our joints. Also in the Sanactive Cream, one of the main ingredients are Dead Sea salts. So these have been used since ancient times. The salts extracted from the Dead Sea are really appreciated by many. People go to the Dead Sea to get access to these when they have a lot of aches and pains. So it helps especially with skin conditions where people get like flare-ups like psoriasis and things like that on their skin, but also inflammation in our joints. And so think of that as like Dead Sea salts, miracle worker that people have been using for ages for reducing inflammation on your skin, but also in our joints. So when we're talking about that set, for example, and a lot of different sets that are going on this month, we're talking about chronic pain management. And we wanted to just give you a little bit of background information to help you really reach the customer base that you need to reach the most with these products, right? So think of chronic pain as any pain that lasts more than 3 months, right? 3 months or more. It could be pain that people feel every day, all day, or it could be on and off, but it just keeps coming back, right? It's not just like you get a pain one day, you do some kind of therapy and it goes away, right? So these are chronic pains, things like arthritis, back and neck pain, which can be posture related or work related, etc. Headaches, including migraines, scar tissue, widespread joint pain that is common with things like fibromyalgia, neurogenic pain, which could be it's related to damage in the nervous system, psychosomatic pain, where our brain is telling us that we have pain, even though physically there might not be something going on in that area of our body. Our brain is a very powerful thing, and other injuries, diseases, post-operative conditions, etc. Approximately 25% of adults in the US report experiencing chronic pain. So this is a big deal for a lot of people. And we also know that there are certain limits in modern medicine. For example, if someone has joint pain where they use a steroid to deal with that, steroid use is limited because of the side effects it can have on our body. Or if someone is taking anti-inflammatories like NSAIDs, right, like naproxen or ibuprofen and things like that every day, that those can have some long-term side effects on our digestive system, et cetera. So it's really important to have these other therapies, complementary therapies that people can incorporate so that they can reduce some of those side effects and limits that that they have with other pills that they might be taking or other treatments that they might be taking for that chronic pain. And also having chronic pain also can affect people emotionally, right? It's very emotionally draining to deal with pain and discomfort every day. So a lot of people who have chronic pain also end up having issues with anxiety, depression, fatigue, insomnia. They can't quite get comfortable at night, mood swings because they've used up all their endorphins on this constant pain that they have, right? So you can also talk about aromatherapy in a lot of these situations as well to help people get kind of a more complete routine for their care. So thinking about how can I propose some questions to my community, to my customers, et cetera, so that people reach out to me and start this conversation. So questions that you can put out there on social media, et cetera. Do you feel like you need to take pills for pain or inflammation too often? Do you have any ongoing discomfort or pain that limits your movement or enjoyment of certain activities during the day? Do sedentary activities or lack of movement cause you to feel achy in the mornings? Does joint pain limit your mobility? Do you find yourself struggling with pain in your neck, back, or like waist, like your lower back, etc.? A lot of people have posture issues that they need to correct, but also it could just be like constant movements or constant positions that they're in during their workday. So I'll leave that up in case anyone wants a screenshot of those. So those are some questions that you can incorporate as your hook if you're talking about any of these products, these therapies, these routines in your social media, for example. These are good questions that you can start those conversations with. Remember, when we're trying to get our customers to stop their scroll and stop and read something, we're not necessarily talking about how much we love the product. We're talking about their needs, and that's what's going to stop them and want them to learn more about how these work. Okay. So think about helpful use routines that you can really promote for the chronic pain sufferers would be that better movement set with arnica, Synactive, and 31 herbal oil for people who are suffering more with inflammation and joint pain. Also the pain away set, juniper, body balm, and 31 herbal oil for people who have muscle pain. On a regular basis, right? And like I just had a friend of mine reach out because her daughter's in a dance class, in a dance group. They do like folkloric dance, and they get so many muscle cramps. So I recommended the pain away set with body balm, arnica, and 31 herbal oil that they can use before and after their dance practices to help those muscles stay more relaxed, even when they're putting them to work a lot. And also aromatherapy options for the emotional part of chronic pain, like anti-stress. Stress is a trigger for a lot of chronic pain, so keeping stress levels managed will be really helpful. Also citrus oils that are mood boosting, like lemon and bergamot for people who are feeling signs of depression when they are dealing with chronic issues like that, or also things like orange or gardenia nights if they struggle to fall asleep with those chronic pain issues, anything that helps calm the body down and balance out our moods would be helpful as well. So just remember that there are lots of different ways to help your customers. Always try to think of that holistic well-being and how we can serve them in many different ways with all of our used tools that we have. Okay, so let's start we just have a quick reminder about a tool that is available to you in our consultant app. Those of you who feel like, okay, I've learned a lot about certain routines, but I want to keep learning more. I want to feel like a really great expert on some more topics with your used business. We want to show you just a recording of a training that you might have missed. I think the last time we did this was December maybe, so it's been a while. If you missed that skincare training that we did, our Vital Use line is such a powerful tool for our used business. And we just wanted to show you again where that is located in the app if you missed that and you want to access it now. So remember that in your consultant app, you have that resources folder. There are tons of resources available to us in here. Go to resources, products, and here you can find the Vital Use seminar. So those of you who might have missed that, go ahead and check that out so you can get caught up on that for the next time that we really make a big push for skincare. But also just browse through these folders. There are so many cool materials available to us so that you can feel more like an expert on a variety of topics, okay? All right, just a reminder that those are in there and they're so easy to find, so easy to check out in your consultant app. Okay, now for the star of the show, are we ready for Canva Bootcamp? Yeah, today we're going to focus on creating stories. Put a 1 in the chat if you already do post stories regularly. I know we've been talking about this. I would love to know, what do you normally post in your stories? Do you post pictures of yourself with something related to use? Do you post videos of yourself? Do you post promotional products or promotional materials that the company shares with us? Do you post videos that the company shares with us? What are things that you tend to put in your posts now? Do you use direct product links in your stories? And tell us too, do you already use Canva to create some materials for your stories? I'm interested to hear about this. So today, as you're sharing, I'm just going to share the little overview here. Remember that in Canva Bootcamp, we're going to do 4 different webinars on this. We're in week 2 right now. So we already did a tour of the main tools. Make sure that you check out last week's webinar if you missed that. And now in week 2, we're going to work together to create an example of how can we make materials that we can post to our stories in Canva, okay? Next week, we'll give some more examples, more tools for creating posts. And then week 4, we'll go over some more advanced options as well. Okay, so today for creating stories, we're going to review how to search those templates that are available in Canva, modify text, add photos. We're going to use photo frames, which is a way to like put photos into a frame that cuts them into a certain shape for us, which can be really helpful, and how to duplicate images and change those up a little bit. So one thing, oh, one of my animations didn't work there. So one thing that I recommend is when we're doing stories, think about what kinds of organizational tools you can use to stop. Again, we want people to like stop their scroll and continue watching our story versus just like flipping through them, because stories are quick flips, right? So one thing that I really recommend, this is just an example story format. There are lots of different ways to set up your stories, but I like to layer 3 or 4 different pieces of information together in my story, because if I put everything on one space, it's too much and it's overwhelming and people don't really get engaged with that. And also think of like our human brain kind of likes sets of 3, right? So maybe if in my first piece of my story, the first file, you'll notice on this example, there's 3 little bars. Here, let me open up my annotation so you can see a little better. Annotate, spotlight. Is that the one I used last time? I think so. Doesn't want to let me choose it this time. We'll do mouse. No. Here it is. Okay. Can you see that little red guy a little bit better? Okay, so you'll notice when I post my story, if I put 3 different images or videos up there, you'll see 3 little lines on the top. People can click on those if they want to go back and forth in between them, right? So here I have 1, 2, 3 pieces. In the first piece of this particular story, this is one that I did for Eucosol spray when it was on promo. I used just my iPhone and I made a slow motion video of me spraying Eucosol across my chest. And so so that people see my face, right? I just wanted people to see my face, because if I'm posting this to my personal social media or my professional social media, people are more drawn to faces than they are just graphics, right? So the first step is usually good to do something with your face, something personal, something related to customer needs, or with a hook. So this, it says why this spray is our #1 top seller. My hook there was just saying that this is use #1 product, right? So people were like, oh, I wonder why, right? Sometimes that's a question. Do you feel like you're taking too many painkillers to deal with chronic joint pain or something like that? Whatever it is, you want a hook with something with your face or something with your lifestyle, something from your life, because that's what kind of draws people in, especially if you're posting to your personal social media once in a while. Yeah. And then I usually include some basic product information, like, okay, so I've got some people's attention with my video. They're like, oh, I wonder why that spray is so important, or yes, I do deal with nasal congestion, or something like that. Then they're going to click and see this next part of my story, which just says this is Eucosol spray. It has essential oils in it, like eucalyptus, peppermint, rosemary. I put a little picture of it. And then if they're still watching, they're still on my story, then I'm going to give them another piece with more information that tells about the different benefits of Eucosol. Here I listed open and soothe nasal passages, reduce snoring, purify the air, soothe mind, and awaken senses. This all comes from my company materials that I have available on my website, right? So, and here I added a little direct product link sticker. We know how to do that, so that if people have gone through all 3 steps and they're interested in this product and they want to learn more about it, they can click and it takes them to Eucosol right on my my personal website, right? Remember, we can do that by going to our personal website, looking up a product and getting that little link icon, or by going to our shopping site from our personal website, opening up a product, or grabbing the URL, right? These are things we've gone over lots of times, especially you pros who are here with me right now. You've seen that before. But remember, if you have any questions, let us know, but make sure you're putting in that direct product link. I usually put it in at the end because that's where people have already learned about it and are interested and are more likely to click. Yes? All right, so let me show you. I'm going to open up Canva. Go ahead and do the same. Those of you who are sharing or are participating live with us. And we're going to go over some basics, right? So we're already logged into our Canva account. Go ahead and do that if you haven't already done so. And like I've said before, a good place to start is let Canva do as much of the work for you from the get-go, because you know we're not all trained graphic designers, but there's a lot of good designs already made for us. So go over here to the left-hand menu and click on templates. So that's our first step. And then we're going to go up into this search bar where it says search thousands of templates. And I like to put something in that's related to the product that I'm talking about, the topic. So for example, when I made that Eucosol story, I looked up eucalyptus because that's something that many people will recognize. Yes, sometimes I search aromatherapy, sometimes eucalyptus, sometimes mint, right? Like whatever you think is a visual that goes along with your topic. So I'm going to do eucalyptus and search. And now it's going to give me all these different sizes of materials, right? So there's lots of materials out there that use eucalyptus because it's beautiful, but I'm going to go up here and I'm going to filter just the size that I need to post to stories. So I'm going to click on all filters. Did everyone find that? I'll do it again. I'll hold it here for a minute. So right here at the top above this magic design thing, it says all filters. And this is where I narrow it down a little bit. So if you click on social media and go to Instagram story, that's going to help us filter. So we only get story size graphics. And if you want to click down on the style, the topics, etc., you can also change any of those. Okay. Here you can also click on free down where it says price. You can also click on free so that they're not showing you all the pro options if you don't have a paid account. Yes. All right. So I have that set. I'm going to click apply. And there we go. I have some options. Now notice my free options with eucalyptus are a little bit less, right? But I personally use the free account and that's what I like. So that's where we're going to start. So this is, you recognize this template. That's what I used in my example story. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Notice how the free ones don't say pro, they don't say paid on the bottom. They're just ready to go. Okay, so I've opened up a template that I like the design. I feel like it will work well with my product and my brand. And I click on customize this template. Also, if you're browsing here and you see a bunch that you like that you would like to use later, you can star those to find those later in your starred list. And that will save you some time later on, okay? So we already did customize this template, and that will bring us here to our workspace, yes? Now here, we are going to do several things to make this work for us. First, we're going to find all of our little text boxes here, and we're going to redo the text, right? Like this says eucalyptus, that's very helpful. But what I did here is I wanted to add the name of my product up here. So what I did is I went to text over here on my left-hand toolbar that we went over last week. I clicked on text, and I'm going to add a heading because I want my text to be bigger. Yes, so I'm going to add a heading. All right. Now, when we are working with text, it's really easy to modify this, right? So if I just click the box, it will put a little cursor in there. You can double click to highlight everything. And I'm going to put in Eucasol spray, for example. I'll stick with my same one that I just made last week. Okay, so I have updated my text. Now, notice this isn't very beautiful yet, right? A good combination that is really easy to keep in mind is if you have a non-cursive text on your image already, it's good to use a cursive one to complement it. So a lot of us just do one cursive and one non-cursive font, and those tend to go well together. Play around with it, see what you like. I think I used this one here. I'm just going to click on the box that I want to adjust. Up here, I have a list of fonts in this drop-down menu, and I'm going to choose Homemade Apple. I think that's the one I did. Now notice this box has a few different ways to adjust the size for what we need. I can pull these little lines that are on the sides to make this text box large or longer or shorter, right? And that will adjust where the product fits in the lines. I can also pull these corners to resize the entire text, right? And if I want to move it around, you'll notice you just have to click off of that image and then click it again and drag it around, okay? Now, that looks okay. You might want to play around with it a little bit more, but that is my cursive font. And then down here, I have my non-cursive font. Now, what I did on mine was I wanted to make 3 little lines of the different types of the main types of essential oil that are in there. So I'm going to take this little brown space that's on my image. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. And now I can go ahead and make my 3 little text boxes with my 3 main oils I want to talk about. When I click on a text box, notice that there's this little icon that pops up. So click off of it, click back on it, and you'll see these pop up. One is to delete it. The other one is to duplicate it. And there's also these 3 dots that give me all these different options here. Yeah. So here, I'm going to click on this. I like the size of that. I like the look of it. I just want to duplicate it and make one just like it. Then I can drag that down here and I can change it out for, what was it? Rosemary. Okay. And then I can click that one and duplicate it. Ooh, and now I can make the same one. Notice how it's even telling me if I've spaced them correctly. It says, ooh, this one, there's 24, the space of 24 in between each box. You spaced about well. Here I'm going to do peppermint. Okay, so how easy was that, right? I've taken my template. I've added and updated the text that I need to. I already like the design, so that was easy. And now I think what I would maybe do on this one is this is enough to get me started. But maybe I want to add an image of Eucasol spray to this image. Yes. So there's a few different steps that we have to do. First of all, we're going to put what I call what is called a frame, which is like a photo frame that we're going to be able to drag the picture into it. Because if we just get a picture from the website, from our used website, and we put it on the image, it's just going to be like a really boring little square and it doesn't look very professional. So one easy way to add an image to this in a really simple way is to go up to Elements. Remember that Elements is like all of the tools that are already in Canva that already exist for us, right? So we click on elements. Sometimes these are images, sometimes they're shapes, but also sometimes these are photo frames. So I'm going to go up into search elements and I just search for frame. You can put a shape in there if you want. If you just search for frame, you will see all of these things that look like this little landscape. That means that that's a space where you're going to drag another image into it and it will put it in that frame for you. Yes. So maybe you want just a plain circle. This tends to look very professional. The circle looks professional, but there are tons of different options for you to choose from based on your design. Yes, so these are really fun. I'm just going to start with the circle. We're going to go basic. When I want to add this to my design, I can either just click on it and it pops up there, or you can click on it and drag it over to your design. Either one is fine. And I'm going to place this maybe right here. Again, this is not a very well thought out design just yet, but we'll just go with it for now. Okay, so there's my little frame and I can add an image to that now. Let's go to where we can find an image of Yukasol. Go ahead and tell me in the chat, where can I find a good image of Yukasol? On our personal website, right? That's a good place to go. So I'm going to go to my used website. You can get, there's a little bit different variety of images on our regular website and our shopping website. So go ahead and search around for whatever you need. Yukasol is something that's found right on my regular website. So I'm going to look that up. And now I want to show you a little trick because websites tend to compress our images and make them a little bit lower quality when we get them in this like thumbnail type image. So what I do before I get a copy of this, I just click on it to open it up. See how it's already bigger. And I also right click and open the image in a new tab. So notice it's really simple. I've clicked on the image from the website. I've right clicked on it to get this little menu. And I go to open image in new tab, and that puts the image in a separate tab for me. This is the highest quality image I'm going to be able to get off the website. Okay. Now, what I can do here is, again, really easy. You can either save it if you want that image to stay on your computer for you to use later to go for it, or you can just copy the image. Okay. You can just copy it. So again, I right clicked on my biggest version of the image. I went to copy image, and then I go back to Canva and I go right click, paste. Oh, mine doesn't have it on there unless I'm over here. Hold on. There. Okay, so I go on to my design and right click and paste, and that image will come right over for us. Okay, that's automatically going to put this image into my uploads. Yeah, it's automatically going to put it over here as an upload. That's one way to upload it. I could do it the old-fashioned way and upload it here as a file as well. Either one will work. Now, I have this image on my design, but you notice how it would look kind of weird if I just set that somewhere, right? That would look kind of weird. So if I put this, I drag it over here into that little frame, and ta-da, it already frames it for me so it looks more professional. If I don't like how it's spaced on here, I can move that frame around. That's one thing I can do, but I can also double click. Let me click out of it and come back. It's taking a minute. Double click on it, reposition, and click back out. Yeah, so by double clicking on the photo in your frame, you can move how it's balanced out in the frame. It tries to do its best job like automatically for you, but you might have to move it around. Okay. You can also do other things with those frames. You'll notice that there are some that have room for multiple images that you can organize, but it's a really easy way to take a simple image from the website. You haven't had to remove the background or anything on it yet. We'll teach you how to do that next week. And you just pull that photo right into the frame. Any questions so far? Can you let me know in the chat, and I'll make sure to go back over that. While you're writing your questions, I'm just going to do a really quick review of what we've talked about today. So when we decided I want to make some materials for my stories, we opened up Canva, logged into our account, and we came over here to the left to templates. We searched a keyword like eucalyptus that we thought would give us some eucalyptus, that would give us some good visuals for what we were talking about, and we searched that. Then we came down to here where it says all filters, and social media and told it to just give us the story format. Okay, so Instagram story. You could also do, I think your story works the same, but just choose a story so that you get that same size. I clicked on free because I have a free account, and I clicked apply. Okay, here's where we opened up our design and started to work on it. Then we took what was already made, we added text, we resized our text box and our text size, we changed the font. We made duplicates of text boxes so that we could add more information in the same format, the same size, the same font, the same everything. And then we used photo frames to add images. It could be an image of yourself, an image of something from your lifestyle, or an image from our website of a product. And we went into elements, searched frame, and put a photo frame onto our design, and then just copied and pasted another image in there so that we could kind of give it that shape. Yes. I'm going to show you one other quick, more advanced thing that you can do with this. Sometimes you might just like how that photo frame looks by itself. Sometimes you might want to put a shape behind it. So what I've done is I've gone into elements and I looked for, I'll show you that one more time. I went into elements and I just searched for circle. And I took one of these circular shapes. I'm going to change its color. So here in this little color box, I'm going to make it green, okay? But you can also take a circle and put it behind that photo frame. Uh-oh, right now it's on top. If I want to put it behind, you remember that little toolbox that I said would show up above the image? You click on those three little dots, layer, and tell it to go to the back or to send backwards, okay? Now that is a way, if you want to make your photo frame look even more, if you want it to stand out more on your image, you can also add a circle behind it and that will give it some more structure. So how easy was that? Yeah. And then as you want to make more images that go along with this story, I'll show you this one last little tool up here on the top. This is a whole design that we've made. If you want to make one that looks similar, but you're going to add some extra information, you just click this little duplicate page option that's up here at the top. And it's going to make an identical one that you just scroll down to. And now you can, again, adjust text, adjust images, add more information, etc. Yes? When we are done with these, we go to the share option up here. We go to download. PNG is fine, and you can download them and then put them up on your social media. How easy is that? So this is a great way to get an easy story going, do something personal with an image of yourself, and then add a couple of images that you've made in Canva to add more product information for your customers. And then you just layer those, you go to your story, tell it to select multiple and put all three in order, and you're good to go. Yes. All right. So hopefully that gives you an idea of something that you can make for your own Instagram and Facebook stories this week. And just remember that we are what we do, not what we say we're going to do. So write that on your to-do list right now, right? Make some stories using Canva, put those new skills to work. And I don't see any questions in the chat, so we must be doing okay so far. Good, I'm glad. Any other questions, feel free to add them in and we'll either get to them today or I'll add them in next week, okay? All right, so our call to action for this week. We're playing around with Canva. Here's your goal is to make simple images to add to your stories each day. So we already did our stories challenge. We already gave you lots of ideas in the month of May of what kinds of things you can post to your stories every day. You can make your own images in Canva. You can post pictures that you take of yourself, short videos that you take of yourself, or those company resources that are available in your consultant app. And remember to keep planning a weekly workshop or demo in your customer group base, whatever you have, wherever you organize your customers. Plan a weekly workshop demo, pick the same day every week, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, whatever works for most of your customers. Put it on your calendar, invite them ahead of time, and just do a demo on a specific topic every week to create that community and keep people interested in used products and all they have to offer. Yes? Okay. So thank you so much for joining us for our training this week. I hope you've gotten some great inspiration to keep moving your business forward. And we'll see you all next week. And for those of you who are here with us live, we will move on to some time-sensitive reminders quickly before we log off for the day.